Okay, this is Dan Low, and today I'm going to show you how to write a JavaScript program to read a CSV file of numbers and then sort it using selection sort. Okay, so let's first take a look at the pseudocode. So pseudocode too much similar to this. Basically, you are iteratively going over the list starting from the first one and find the smallest number, okay, and then swap it to the first position. Then once the smallest number is done, then you find the second smallest in the rest of the list or the array, and then put it into the second position, and then do the third smallest put into the third position until the whole array got sorted, and this is called selection sort. Okay, so let's take a look at the stuff we need. We assume the numbers are stored in an array. Okay, so basically we are going to find the smallest number in the array and then swap that number with the correct position. Okay, so we need a swap. We need a swap function. Okay, swap two numbers in an array. Okay, and we also need a function to find the minimum value index. Okay, and once we got that index, then we can swap. So the swap is taking an array for the first argument. The second argument is the first index to be swapped, and then the second index to be swapped in the array. Okay, so in the array. So then uh, the selection so is gonna be a loop. Okay, that will loop over the list position from the first position all the way to the last position and find the smallest one accordingly. Okay, so let's get back to the code we have. So this is the code that read the data file, okay, in CSV format. So in this program, I slightly change the flow a little bit. So basically, you need to do two callback function. This is called callback function registration. The first one is the file reader, and anything outside the function, starting from the open curly brace to the closing curly brace. Okay, outside that, that is the outermost scope. Okay, so basically, I set a variable reader is a variable. It's gonna be the file reader object, this outermost, and then this function can see the reader. Okay, so the scope is going outward. If you design outside the function and then inside this function, you can read it. But for example, here I have a number array defined within the function, but it's only local to the function here. So you cannot read a number array outside the block or in another function here. Okay. So I got two registration. The first registration is I want the callback function registered on low when the reader got on low. Okay. So that is the first thing you need to do to register the unload function for the reader. And second thing you need to register the callback function for the unchanged about this file chooser. Okay, so every time if I choose file data, for example, okay, if I do that, then this function got code. Okay, this function started from here got code, and in this function it actually get the file. Okay, um, object. Okay, and then I can log it out. Then I call reader. Remember, reader we defined it up here. Up here. Okay, that's the actual file reader. So we use that object to read a text of the file we choose from the chooser. Okay, so that's basically flow. So this thing will first be called because after we change, we select the file. Okay, we change this component, then this function got executed. And once this function got executed, it called the reader.read as text. When you call the reader.read as text subfile, then this unload function will be called. Okay, so this one will be called first after I select the file, followed by this function will be called. Okay, so this function basically actually reading the file. Okay, and I did some data preprocessing. I actually convert this array of strings into array of numbers. Okay, using this map function. Okay, so after that I got the num array prepared. Some number is an array of numbers. Okay, I call the console that log to log it out, and it's right here. And after that I should call the main function right here. Okay, so before I implement the main function, let's use a notepad to create our CSV file. Okay, so I'm not going to create any easier verify number like 6 2 1 5 3 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 7 9, for example. So that's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So 9 numbers. Okay, so I save it, save as, and then remember I need to save it to anything. Okay, so I save it to just call the data 2.csv. So that's gonna be my data file. Okay, save it. So after I save it, okay, now if I choose a file right here, for example I choose data 2. Okay, so I should have that number. Okay, the array already there, 9 numbers. Okay, so now I start the implementation of the selection sort. Okay, so here I need to call the main method. Okay, so I say call main function. Okay, so main function, I pass the num array, okay, to it. Okay, and since I call a main here, right, so I need to define here. Okay, so this main function. Okay, so this is the main entry point. It's not entry point, it's just uh, the main function that processing or implement the selection sort. Okay, so here in the main function, I'm just gonna create a function. So I say I created this function, say var main, okay, equal to function, and then this is gonna be an array. Okay, an array here, right? So this main function gonna get an array, okay, of numbers. So before we move further, let me just say console dot log and to see if I got array right here. Okay, so save it and then reload it and run this way. Okay, so you will see the output. You should have a bunch of output. Okay, that's right. The first one is coming from here. The second one is coming from right there. Okay, so now the number got passed over. That means good. So I can keep going. So I don't need this. So the number is coming in. Okay, so now in order to implement the selection sort, okay, I need a swap function, right? So let's say implement a swap function. Okay, so swap function, swap. Swap. So swap function will take an array. Okay, and then the array index 1 and index 2. Okay, so the first index, second index. Okay, that means I want to swap the values in the first index and the second swap them. Okay, so that's very straightforward. Okay, so I go ahead and implement swap. Swap is a function. Okay, and this function gonna take an array. Okay, an array of numbers, and then I'm gonna take the first index and the second index for swap. So after that, I should be able to, okay, implement using a temporary variable. So it says, so that's temp equal to 0.0 or whatever. Okay, or you can just def temp equal to array. Okay, and first index, let's save it. Save the, so this is to save the array sub first index into temp. So you save it, and the second thing is you can go ahead override the array sub index got assigned the second uh, value. Okay, so this simply is that override the array sub index with the value of array sub second index. Okay, so after that, then the array second index would then be assigned the value temp. Okay, so that will be the swap. Okay, so we use a temporary variable, okay, to keep the array sub first index. So that's the swap, and we can double check if the swap is good. Okay, so that we can test it right here. Okay, let's say test if swap is good. Okay, so to test it, well, since we have array, right, so we can say swap. Okay, and then by pasting array, I want to swap here. The first one is 6, the second one is 2, right? But the index start from 0. Okay, so I want to swap 0 and 1. The index is 0 and index 1 value, which is 6 2. Now if we swap, it become 2 6. Or make it as 0 and 2. Swap on your 0 and 1, 6 and 1. Okay, so let's say swap, the first index is 0, second index is 2. Okay, so after I call this, the array values got swapped, right? Swap. So then after that, I can cancel out log, okay, array, and then see what happened to see if the value got changed. Okay, so I save it, reload it, and then choose 2. Okay, now let's observe the output. This is coming from, I just read it from the file right here, coming from here. Okay, the first line. Second line is after we swap. This is right here. So we swap index 0 and 2. So this is 0 1 2. So as we swap 6 and 1, so 1 go to the first place, 6 go to the third place. Okay, and the rest should remain the same. So the swap is okay. Swap is good. Okay, so the swap does not check the boundary. Okay, so for example, if the index first index or second index, go over, since for example you go over to up above 8, which is 9 or more, it causes a problem. It's called out of bound, array out of bound error. So we should check the index that is within the bound. Okay, to play safe. So here is what I would do. Okay, so the check array bound, check array boundary. So, and we know the length of the array will be, in this case it's 9 numbers, it's 9. Okay, and therefore all the index had to be less than strictly less than the length. Okay, so if it's out of bound, then we don't want to deal with that. So we check, and also the negative part, it should not be the negative. It had to be at least 0. So we check if uh, condition the first IDX is larger than the array dot length. Okay, array dot length, or second larger than the array. Hold on. It should not be larger than. It should be less than. Sorry, should be less than. Okay, it's not. Oh, it should be end. So end it to ampersand. And second array index also less than the array length. Okay. And also we need to check one more thing. If the first index also or larger than equal to 0, and the second index also larger than equal to 0. Okay, otherwise it becomes negative. That's not good. So if all that condition is good, so we can then do the swap. Okay, so we can then do the swap. So this guy, otherwise we don't do the swap. Okay, we just don't do anything. Okay, so that's pretty much about it. If you want, you can just try it again, and then choose a file and try to see it again. It should be the same. Okay, it should be the same. But if I change this index say to 9, it's out of bound, right? So save it. It should not do anything. So reload, then run it again. So now you can see the array does not do anything, does not change it. Okay, so this is a check array bound. Okay, check array bound to make sure the it's within the bound. Okay, and they are within array bounds. Okay, within. Okay, so otherwise it might cause problem. It's out of bound. Okay, so that's the thing. That's a swap. Okay, so now swap is working. Now we then go to the main function right here. Okay, so swap now is working, so I don't need this test, so I can just take it out. Okay, so in the main function, I want to implement the selection sort, right? So the selection sort, I basically I need a loop. Okay, so selection sort. Okay, so selection sort, the first thing is I need a loop. Okay, so loop from the index 0, okay, to the length minus 1. Okay, so I said for loop. Okay, so I use the index I, okay, equal to the first index 0. Okay, and then I goes from 0. Okay, and then I should be less than less than the array length. Okay, and I plus plus. That's the loop, to go over the array. So starting from the beginning and all the way to the end. Okay, and we also need to find the the smallest number, okay, in the list starting from the starting index. Okay, so let's put it here. Okay, so let's put here put it here. So we need to implement something similar to the index of minima, okay. So this is a function in the array and the star index, starting from the star index and find the minima, okay. So so here we have the index, uh, or you can say of index of minima, index, let me see, I mean index of minima, okay, index, let's just say index of minima, mini mum, okay, minima, and this minima take an array, okay, uh, value and then the start index, okay, and then you will return the return the index of the minima, okay, and then we name it index of minima, okay. So index of minima is a function. So this function, it takes an array, okay, and then star index, okay, and it's gonna return the minima, okay. So so to find the index of the minima, starting of the index, so we assume well, here we need to check some checking, okay, check bounds, okay, check bounds, and then after we check bounds, so then the second thing is uh, we have two variable min, okay, minima, okay, minima, that's a mean value, okay. So mean value to begin with, okay, we set the star index, so that's the minimum value to begin with, okay, and then we set the mean index, okay. To begin with, we set star IDX, that's the minima index to begin with, okay. Then we try to search, loop over the uh, elements, array elements after star index, okay, and check if it's smaller than the mean. If yes, then we keep, otherwise we just skip, okay. So we have for loop, say var I. Here the I is the index, is the loop index loop variable, and we start with the star index plus one. The next one we start with the next, because we already know the star index, the array sub star index value, so we don't need to check it again. So we start on the next one, star index is plus one, okay. Where we don't we do have star NDS, right, plus one, and then and also I have to be less than the end of the array, okay. So which is array dot length, okay, and then keep going. I plus plus mean I is increased by one, okay. And this loop over, we cannot check if the number is smaller, okay. If the array I, okay, is smaller means less than the mean, okay, value, right? If that's the case, if mean value, okay, if the array sub I is smaller, okay, if some of them we need to, so here we put a mark and say found smaller value, okay. If we find smaller value, then we need to update the mean value, okay. Gonna be the small value, okay. So with array sub I, and then also the mean IDX, it's now updated to the I because I is not a smaller one. Okay, so that will be the index of minima. Okay, after or on or after the start index. Okay, so we need to check. Hold on, let me go back here. Okay, so here that's available, so we can check the index of minima. Okay, to see if it's correct. Okay, so let's see. We can have a console. No, this is check. So here we just put a 9 here. Say check if index of minima, which is array star index working. Okay, so we can say console dot log. Okay, so here we're going to log the index. Oh, by the way, we need to return the index. Return the index. Okay, so index. So we need to return. Okay, so after this is the second for loop, right? And this is the if. So this is the end of if. And this is the end of for. So this is the end of for. And then here is the place that we need to return the value. So we return the index, which is mean index. Okay. Okay. So return mean. So if I console log index or minima, and I put array and I start with 0. Okay. So it should print the smallest the index of the smallest number, which is 1 here, which is 2. The index of 1 is smallest one, so it's 2. So let's check it out. So choose the file and then no, hold on, I think I need to reload. Okay, no, so choose the file and then choose data to open it. Got some errors. Okay, so here I got I got ARR. Where's AR not defined? It's in the line 19. 919 right here, 919 right. So I think I missing the one. Okay, save it. ARRAY, yeah. So that's it. So I reload it and then I choose the file again. Okay, so now I've got 2. So notice that I'm looking for the smallest index, which is here. That's 2. That's correct. Okay, so and here I need to check the bounds. Okay, so the star index had to be larger than equal to 0 and uh, less than the array length. So otherwise it will cause problem. Okay, so if star index uh, if larger than or equal to the array dot length or okay star index is less than 0. Okay, if that's the case, then I don't do it, just return -1. Okay, so negative means you just out of bound, so I just return. I don't do anything. Okay, so that is pretty much about the checking bounds, and so this is everything's all good. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, so now I got an index of minima. Okay, so then I can go here, the loop here. Okay, so in this selection sort, once I got the index of minima and also the swap, then I'm pretty much done. Okay, so I start from the index 0 all the way to the array length minus 1. Okay, and then I first get the index, so I get that the swap index. Okay, so the mean, okay, mean index. Okay, so mean index is equal index or minima or start from array. Okay, now I need to start from I. Okay, because I am looking for the any smallest number including I. Okay, and the later. Okay, so this will give me the smallest number, on the index I and a larger. That was the minimum index. Okay, once I get that, I need to swap that with the array or with the composition. Okay, so the composition is I call it swap. Okay, then pass an array, and the first index is I, second index is min. So and it will swap the minima to the current position I. Okay, and all the way to the last one. Okay, so that should be okay. And after that, this is end of all. And then after that, then I just print out the number. So I say console dot log, and then array we got sorted. Okay, so I reload again, choose a file, this guy, choose this guy, and open it. So now you can see that here I got this number read it in, and then this is the numbers after I sort it. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Perfect. So that concludes this video. So if any questions, let me know. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel, sum up, and share. Okay, thank you.